£500,000 when you can, to me, open doors.
Fergie, the Duchess of York, caught on camera trying to sell a newspaper access to the prince. I'm not sure that's the kind of thing royalty is supposed to do. Poizner's point, the Republican candidate for governor's new ad. He slams Meg Whitman, but wait till you hear what he said. Let's just say a lot of people won't be too happy about it. And I've heard of being hungry, but this is ridiculous. Right here in Southern California, a few big boys steal Bob's big boy. Right before the restaurant's grand opening, Bob would be so disappointed. All the stories people are talking about and everything you need to know right now on The Filter. Hello again. Off the top, our Filter forefront, the top four of the day, including Hubba Hubba Barbie. But we'll begin with this. Come tomorrow, we're just 2 weeks from the California primary and the biggest race of all. Which Republican will be on the ticket for governor? Steve Poizner or Meg Whitman? Well, Poizner's new ad pits him as a Republican in favor of what Arizona is doing about illegal immigration and calls out Meg Whitman as the candidate who supports amnesty. Listen to this.
Do you want a governor who has the same position on illegal immigration as the president of Mexico?
I strongly disagree with the recently adopted law in Arizona.
Meg Whitman does.
But as I have said, if that law were to come before me, I would oppose it.
I support what's going on in Arizona. Amnesty is a...
Yes, he does. He supports what they're doing in Arizona. That got us thinking. It may rally his voter base to say he likes what Arizona is doing, but given the number of major cities in California boycotting Arizona, could it actually hurt him if he beats Whitman? Our contributors tonight, actress and social activist Deborah Wilson and the editor of RonKLA.com, Ron K. Our pictures are furnished by Skype. Ron, I'm going to start with you. If Poizner supports checking people's papers for citizenship, could he ever become governor of California?
I don't think so. The guy, when he ran for insurance commissioner, started out as a reasonable, moderate fellow and was quite likable. But I got to tell you, anybody who listens to any of these ads, reads the mailers, is gets what they deserve. I mean, it's nothing but lies, framed messages, prepared out of focus groups. In his case, he's trying to win the primary going to the far right.
Right.
He can't do it. Most people want to see immigration reform, want to see the borders closed, want to see...
Ron, you think?
Oh, I think it's real clear. I think the Arizona thing is nothing but the federal law. The problem is how do they enforce it? What's the training of police officers to avoid terrible things? And the reaction to it is just as absurd. I mean, a boycott by the city of Los Angeles. What are we boycotting, ourselves? I mean, it's got no teeth in it. It's just political posturing meant to divide us and keep us stupid.
What do you think, Deb?
Well, you know what? Steve Poizner has a soundbite of Meg Whitman, and it's been chopped up. It hasn't been edited because, again, you don't get the full truth. You don't get the full scope of it. And anytime a politician does that, I'm always leery to begin with. But this is definitely a let's get ready to fumble situation, simply because both parties are really vying for what is popular. And I totally agree with Ron K. What this really is a matter of not so much a reform, but a matter of posturing in order to gain attention. Boycotts don't work, but it is a grandstanding, which Los Angeles is so great at doing to begin with. And I don't think anybody should care about whether or not we should boycott Arizona. What they're doing is legal. It is not unfair, and it is not impractical for our country, for our budget, or for any particular state. I think more than anything else, all of the politics filter down to an emotional response so that most voters are not really buying the situation and buying the real politics of it. Because the real politics are, yes, what they're doing is actually fair. What they're doing is legal as far as Arizona is concerned. But it's how you feel about it that we want you to vote on, not the actual information.
I'll tell you something. I think in this situation, whether you agree or disagree with the law in Arizona, Poizner might win the battle.
I don't think so.
But if he does, I think it will cost him the war later on. Let's move on. 1995. Last year we had pro football in L.A. The Rams left for St. Louis. The Raiders left for Oakland. Since then, football fans have been tortured every offseason with the idea that the NFL will return. You know what? Wake me up when that happens. There are two proposals right now, one in the City of Industry and the top secret plan for downtown L.A. For years, people have said the NFL needs Los Angeles. The NFL needs the country's second biggest market to make money. Apparently, they don't. The article in the L.A. Times this weekend suggests the league really doesn't care if there's a team here, and it doesn't seem the city cares either. Do we need a football team in Los Angeles? Do we really care about that, Deborah?
No, we don't. And anybody will tell you, politicians will say, well, it'd be great for the economy, especially now, being that we are floundering. Los Angeles is floundering. California is floundering. It won't really help because that wouldn't help the economy. What we need is a complete overhaul. A football team would not help the economy in an overhaul, number one. Number two, Los Angelinos have stopped caring quite a long time ago because you know what? We're sick and tired of that kind of posturing. And number three, I also think it's a tactic by the NFL because at one point it's a matter of threatening everybody else in the league saying, watch yourselves, we can always go to L.A., but L.A. will never happen. Well, bottom line, L.A. will never happen. I hate football.
well, then it shouldn't happen. No, a couple of things there. First of all, there's that plant out in the City of Industry at Roski. And then he is business partners with Tim Leiweke in Staples Center. Suddenly, Tim Leiweke announces, well, kind of in a clandestine manner, that they have a super secret downtown plan. So they got the two guys pitting themselves against each other. And the NFL loves that. Loves that. They want people to battle each other because it only ups the ante. Ron, do we need football here?
We've all done real well without it. You know, we get more football games. We don't get blacked out. The teams betrayed us. The league betrayed us. They've lost the L.A. market in terms of people turning out to the game for ridiculously priced seats. This is a big charade. The mayor's all aboard tearing down the convention center that's finally making a little bit of money, and its only problem is it's too small. So he wants to tear down the old wing and put in a football stadium to please his biggest backer, Tim Leiweke and AEG. Who have poured a fortune into his campaigns of one sort or another. It's ridiculous. It's not good. It doesn't generate income. It's 10 games a year. I mean, other than the football players, who gets any money out of this? The concession workers working for the living wage. I mean, this isn't good for anybody. It makes no sense, and I don't know of anybody who gives a damn anymore.
And it's more political than it is financial.
Isn't that the way it always is? All right, let's move on. Back in 1996, Sarah Ferguson married into royalty. She married Prince Andrew. They divorced after 10 years, and Fergie had money problems. So she became a spokesperson for Weight Watchers, but she wasn't watching her bank account. Bottom line, she needs money. She needs it now, and here's how she tried to get it.
500,000 pounds when you can, to me, open doors.
Me, Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Well, Fergie thought she was doing a business deal and offering access to her ex-husband, who was the British representative for trade investment and contracts. Actually, that was an undercover reporter from the tabloid The News of the World. She was asking for a bribe. People are shocked. She's apologized. Realistically, she was asking to be paid for government access. I don't know a lot, but I don't think you can do that. What, if anything, should happen to her, Deborah?
Absolutely nothing. You know what? This happens all the time. How often does it happen in our country? So what? She's not actually royalty. She's not born of royal blood. She's just a human being like everybody else who married into it, had some money, lost some money, and is now desperate. So what? Does anyone really, really care about her plight? No. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of families starving, hoping to hold on to their mortgage, who have the integrity to fight what they already have. If she's lost it, let her lose it. Let her become among the minions where she's got to actually have a job. No more budgie books. Let her actually work in a shop, a fish and chip shop for all I care.
Hey, Ron, when you were editor of the LA Daily News, would you set up a sting like that?
You know, I probably wouldn't have back then, but I might now. You know, the guy who did it is like famous for these stings, the fake sheik. He's got an Arabic name, and he does these incredible stunts for one of the most vulgar tabloids, The News of the World. But, I mean, stinging Fergie is so exquisite. I mean, they ought to lock her up in the Tower of London so that she can save some money for a while. You know, the royal family will bail her out. They'll get her into a cloistered environment, I suspect, to keep control over her if that's possible. They ought to just cut her loose and let her hustle. You know, you can imagine the fixers in L.A. who sell access to the politicians up to the mayor for $1,000, $2,000. They're eating their heart out. She wanted $750,000.
They're just not playing at a
Quite
big enough
frankly,
stage.
I think she should marry Antonio Villaraigosa.
She's over the hill for him. I'm sorry, Deborah.